Pluto was the ninth planet in the solar system for more than 70 years, until the International Astronomical Union or IAU reduced it to the rank of a dwarf planet in 2006. This, however, does not diminish Pluto in any way. And today, we're showing you some terrifying things about Pluto discovered by the James Webb Telescope. So watch until the end and don't forget to subscribe for more. Here we begin. NASA's James Webb Space Telescope may shed light on Pluto and other icy worlds. JWST has returned stunning images of distant exoplanets, intricate nebula nurseries and galaxies whose light has taken over 13 billion years to reach our eyes since its launch in December 2021. It'll soon turn its attention to the Kuiper Belt, a vast disk just beyond Neptune's orbit that's home to comets, asteroids, and other icy bodies. Pluto was designated a dwarf planet in 2006, but it's also a trans-Neptunian object or TNO and a Kuiper Belt object or KBO. Planetary scientists classify it as a TNO because Pluto's orbit occasionally crosses that of Neptune and as a KBO. After all, it's one of the largest known objects in the Kuiper Belt. What exactly is the Kuiper Belt? The Kuiper Belt is an outer solar system disk that extends from around 30 astronomical units or AU, where Neptune orbits around 50 AU. Gerard Kuiper proposed the Kuiper Belt in 1951, though it's also known as the Edgeworth Kuiper Belt to honor Kenneth Essex Edgeworth, who described it in 1943. Because of the uncertainty about what to call this disk, the term TNO was coined to describe objects in the region. JWST's approach to studying the Kuiper Belt. JWST will be able to see Kuiper Belt objects in an entirely new light as it continues its mission of exploring the universe with greater depth and sensitivity than any other telescope. JWST's greatest strength for planetary scientists is its incredible spatial resolution combined with its ability to capture images using infrared spectroscopy. JWST's cameras can study the absorption and emission lines that show which atoms, molecules, ices, and minerals are emitting light that vibrates in the Kuiper Belt's atmosphere. Away from the Earth's atmosphere, which blocks infrared light, the JWST Near-Infrared Spectrograph or NIRSPEC Integral Field Unit will reveal the light from these objects in the near-infrared to the beginning of the far-infrared. As a result, scientists hope to see materials that they would never have seen using Earth-based telescopes. Earlier, there was a discovery suggesting that Pluto also has some dynamic world. Pluto was a speck of light barely visible to the largest ground-based telescopes when Clyde Tombaugh, a young astronomer at Lowell Observatory in Flagstaff, Arizona, discovered it 90 years ago. It wasn't until 1988 that astronomers got a lucky break when Pluto happened to cross in front of a distant star. Scientists were able to disentangle the molecules in Pluto's atmosphere as starlight filtered through it, including nitrogen, carbon monoxide, and methane. The Hubble Space Telescope then enabled scientists to see surface details at a resolution of 500 kilometers in 1996. Although the images were fuzzy, they revealed a world still classified as a planet at the time, with more large-scale contrast than any other in the solar system except Earth. It was a tantalizing hint that Pluto might be a dynamic world, and it was quickly confirmed in July 2015 when New Horizons famously spotted a heart-shaped feature just north of Pluto's equator. Sputnik Planitia is an icy basin churning and flowing with massive glaciers within the heart's left ventricle, which scientists now know has an extraordinary influence over Pluto's activity. As the sun warms the frozen plain, a pulse of ice sublimate into vapor, which rises before falling back down at the end of the day. Pluto could have been knocked over by the heart. Shortly after the first images of Pluto's near side reached Earth, Francis Nimmo, a planetary scientist at the University of California, Santa Cruz, and his colleagues noticed that Sputnik Planitia was in an unusual position. It is almost exactly opposite Pluto's largest moon, Charon. Of course, it could be an accident, but the chances of that happening are only 5%. According to models, an underground ocean began to well into the chasm when the basin formed. After that, Pluto's atmosphere's nitrogen gas condensed and froze in the icy basin. The new water and ice created a heavy load, tipping Pluto into its current alignment. The concept of a subsurface ocean has been around for a while, but the images from the far side have helped to solidify it. Some of the most compelling evidence comes from chaotic terrain, a jumbled mess of ridges, cracks, and plains in Pluto's exact opposite side from Sputnik Planitia. Scientists have previously observed such pairs on Mars, Mercury, and Europa, one of Jupiter's moons. They believe an asteroid or comet collision sent seismic waves racing through and around the body. When those quakes converged on the opposite horizon, they tore up the surface in patterns similar to those seen on Pluto's far side. Now, what is the shocking discovery about Pluto by JWST? The James Webb Space Telescope spent hours studying Pluto and its moon Charon. Finally, on September 14, 2022, the James Webb Telescope collected data on Pluto and its largest moon Charon using NIRSpec IFU spectroscopy. Charon, Pluto's largest moon, was discovered on June 22, 1978 by James Christie and Robert Harrington at the United States Naval Observatory in Flagstaff, Arizona. Because Charon is nearly half the size of Pluto, the two are known as a double dwarf planet system and are separated by a distance of 12,200 miles. Charon's orbit around Pluto takes 6.4 Earth days. Charon and Pluto are tidally locked, which means that Charon never rises or sets, but always appears at the same spot on Pluto's surface, with the same side always facing Pluto. Like Earth's moon, Charon lacks an atmosphere, whereas the planet it orbits, Pluto, does, despite the fact that there has been speculation about a minuscule atmosphere surrounding Charon. Nothing has been proven. Because Charon is thought to have formed due to a collision, there was no cooling stage to allow surrounding gases to condense into a solid atmosphere. On the other hand, the Hubble observations with James Webb discovered that Charon is bluer than Pluto, indicating that the two worlds have different surface compositions and structures. According to additional observations, Pluto appears to have a smooth, reflecting surface layer. In addition, a detailed examination of the Hubble image reveals a bright area parallel to Pluto's equator. Though Pluto was discovered in 1930, Charon was not discovered until 1978 because the moon is so close to Pluto that when viewed through ground-based telescopes, the two objects appear to be one. This is because the Earth's moon would appear as large in the night sky as an apple held at arm's length at a comparable distance. With these observations, the James Webb Telescope discovers new information about Pluto and Charon, and new images and data will be released to the public soon. After peer review, data and images are typically released within a few months of the observation. In addition to Pluto and Charon this week, the James Webb Space Telescope is observing high redshift galaxies, asteroid Sedna, and NCG 104, among other objects. What else to know about Charon? Also, it may seem impossible for Charon to have an ocean, given its distance from the Sun, but at least one study suggests it's possible. Essentially, the tidal force imparted by Pluto's gravity early in Charon's history could have stretched and warmed the moon's interior sufficiently to create a liquid. However, the ocean may have frozen because Charon's orbit is no longer as eccentric as it once was. Some scientists believe Charon, like our own moon, was formed billions of years ago when a large object collided with Pluto. This would have resulted in a chain of debris circling the dwarf planet, which eventually merged to form Charon. However, the other moons known to be close to Pluto have nearly exact resonances with Charon. According to one study, this suggests that they too formed from debris. What do you think of the shocking discovery of Pluto by James Webb? Comment in the comments below, and make sure to subscribe for more such videos.